of the BYOB strategy. She's a mother, she's a grandmother, she's a retired U.S. Army major. She is also a financial advisor. She has 100% of the information. She's having a lot of fun, helping a lot of people. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you none other than Miss Tasha M. Dyer. Miss Dyer, are you on the phone?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not had the opportunity to hear from Miss Edgecombe, you definitely want to be in her presence. She is definitely somebody you want to hear from. So with that being said, I just want to thank you for all that you do for the BYOB movement. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome each and every last one of you all here this evening. I want to welcome each and every last one of you all. I'm excited. I'm excited because what we're doing. I'm excited because what has been happening, what has been transpiring with the BYOB movement. I'm just really, really excited. And so what we really want to do tonight, how we really, really want to get started, we want to see what is out there, what is going on. This is the Be Your Own Bank, BYOB, Be Your Own Bank live trading call. This is about catching pips. This is all about us catching pips. And so what I want to do is let's see what's out there. I know we looked a little bit earlier. If you've been with us today, we know we had some news impact and some things happening and some things going on. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that as we begin, what we do is we always stay. We always stay within understanding and knowing what's happening, what's going on. So we want to always keep that in mind. So today, earlier, we had a little news impact, and as you can see, this is going to continually update so we see what is happening. We had some, we got some orange folders happening a little bit earlier. We got, this is over the next couple days. So we always just want to keep that in mind. So what this is telling me is that I want to make sure that I'm careful if I'm in the market and I'm trading. I want to make sure that I'm careful. And then you see starting tomorrow, starting tomorrow, you see we have nothing but news and things going on. So tomorrow you definitely want to mind yourself. You definitely want to take advantage and see what's going on. So with that being said, let's see what's going on in the market. Let's see what's happening in the market. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on in the market. So, you already got some currency pairs you're looking at. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we begin, this is Thursday Night Catching Pips. This is about empowering you. And so let's talk about what the web analyzer does, because this is all about making sure we are properly educated as well. So once again, my name is Tasha M. Dyer, and I am in Jacksonville, Florida, U.S. Army Major retired. So financial advisor. You heard all the things that Sharon said, but at the end of the day, understand that we all have the same parents. So we believe that we understand what wealth is, we understand what is happening out there, but the reality is that we needed to do something different. And so now I had the opportunity while I was actually stationed in Germany to actually participate in the foreign exchange market. And what that was is I enlisted initially as a finance soldier, and I did payroll. I did payroll for the government. But the kicker is this information, why is it so important? Because the information, even if you deal with it, even if it's in your face, you're going to deal with it's going to be hidden in plain sight. So working in the cashier cage, working in the cashier cage, what actually happened, I handled those transactions and understand how does this market work. We're talking about trading foreign exchange. We're talking about putting you in a position to win. The reality is that this is where you buy and sell one currency. You buy one currency and sell the other at the same time. So when you retire or when you buy investments and you buy stocks, that transaction is not complete. This transaction is actually what's complete when I buy and sell at the same time. So this actually puts you in a position for you to win. That's exactly what's happening. And so you're buying, selling at the same time. And so the beauty behind it is the web analyzer. The web analyzer, what it does is it scans the market for you. So when you go through the IML Academy, they're talking about, they teach you, they talk to you about finding a currency pair, scanning it, finding those entry triggers. That's what is said, and that's what we're often looking for so we could be successful. But what's happening, the web analyzer actually does the heavy lifting for you. The web analyzer does all of the heavy lifting for you to where they actually in the market, and this is what these red and green boxes are. These are potential entry triggers. That's what this is. These are entry triggers. So with these entry triggers, what actually happens is they give you, so we're not looking for the web analyzer to tell me exactly what. I have to take the entry trigger and then I actually apply my strategy to it. I actually look for what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. So with that, with finding that entry trigger, we apply the BYOB cash out. Now, how do I trade the BYOB cash out and what does that do? So for example, I want to make sure that nothing is checked but the 15-minute chart. So when something is called, it's telling me that I have a potential buy or a potential sell. So with this potential sell, which is what this is, and this is actually one of the currency pairs that someone just dropped in the chat for us, with this potential buy, I'm actually looking for it. The beauty behind the BYOB cash out is it gives you more trade opportunities, okay? It gives you a lot more trade opportunities because this is called in the correction. So it's not only is that we're looking for a setup. The first thing I want to do is look at my stochastic. I want to look at my stochastic. And when I look at my stochastic, that is going to tell me what it is. There are three confirmations to this, three confirmations to trading the BYOB cash out. So the first thing I want to do is definitely look at the stochastic. Not the web analyzer gave me an entry trigger. The stochastic is going to tell me, do I buy or do I sell? So knowing that I am looking, it's around the 80. You always want to start around the 80 or around the 20. I'm looking for my momentum to pick up and my momentum to start right there. Once that actually happens, once my momentum picks up and once I see what I'm looking for, I want to know if it's around that 80, I'm looking for a sell. If it's around the 20, I'm looking for a buy. That's what I'm looking for. So understand it says potential. So potential means that that's an opportunity, but that's not necessarily, I cannot take that at face value because there is a human element. There is something that I have to apply to it. So now that I know that my momentum is starting around the 80, the blue line is actually crossing over the red. What I'm looking for is a sell. I'm looking for a sell. So then the next thing that I want to do, as we're using Hikanashi candles, these are trend candles. Trend candles, okay? They take the noise out. There you focus on the trend. And focusing on the trend, if it's a green candle with a flat bottom, now I'm looking for a buy. If it is a red candle with a flat top, then I'm looking for a sell. If these are red candles with a flat top, I'm looking for a sell. So what this is telling me is I'm gearing up for a sell. The third confirmation is my PSAR, parabolic stopper reverse. What you see and what you notice as it works as a reversal. It works as a reversal. And in working as a reversal in the market, it's like a support and resistance line that's moving with the trend, that's moving with the candles. So what do I see? I know that I'm coming out of a buy because my blue line crossed over the red in an upward motion, momentum starting around at 20. And as you notice, now this was not a strong up. It met all the criteria, but it was not a strong uptrend. Now you see, notice also, right? that I'm not at the 20 anymore, but my momentum started around the 20. So I'm looking for my momentum. So now I have momentum that's curving at the 80, so I'm looking for a sell. So this is actually going to be a valid trade setup. However, we are not in a position to take this trade yet. So now I need everything to line up for a sale. Then also when these candles, they will begin to shift, they'll turn red and the PSR will flip. So this is something, and this is where we want to begin with our watch list. This is where we want to begin. So this is not going to happen. We're at about 9:15. So we're going to get another candle in just a minute, but it's not going to happen in that next candle. So you got a few more candles before this actually activates a trade. So I'm going to plug in what I was requested to look at. And we're going to walk through these trades, through these currency pairs. So once again, coming out of consolidation, stochastic is curving down over the red, and it's beginning to shift. So that is definitely something that you are looking at, something that things are beginning to change. Because I do not trade consolidation, we don't want to trade consolidation, but because it's coming out of consolidation, you allow the market to adjust from that consolidation, and then you would actually be looking for a trade with this. So we're definitely building a watch list for trades that are coming. So once again, now this is from earlier, right? We had some consolidation. Look at that, right? We don't trade that. It came out of consolidation. We actually had some GBP news earlier. So if GBP was first, it spiked up. If GBP is my counter currency, it spiked down for a sale. This is from earlier. And once that happened, the market went into consolidation. Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure it comes out of consolidation before we actually do anything with getting in a trade with this. So go ahead, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, as you're pulling up, folks, be mindful. Tonight is Thursday night live. We're live in the market, but there's a lot of variances that are going to be taking place. So we may not have that level of calls that we usually get on a Thursday night for a couple of reasons. Be mindful of the news. Make sure you govern yourself with your Forex Factory, FX Street, or your news source, Bloomberg specifically. But the FOMC will be meeting tomorrow, and then we also have the G7. So those things are kind of having the market on pause because the federal chair, Mr. Powell, will be speaking tomorrow, and then of course the G7. So be mindful of that because that is going to have some level of impact on the amount of trades and how you take trades. So just be mindful of that as we're going through this live trading tonight.
Uh-oh. So, and with what he's saying, with what's happening, what you definitely want to take into consideration is you want to make sure everything is lined up before you get in a trade, because as you can see, this is the nice little spike. So you look at what happened earlier, right? This spike, we saw one earlier, I think it was, I can't remember how many pips it was, but it was definitely well over 100. And so you're looking at 117 pips that is spiked downward. So when we're talking about taking trades and during this time frame, you want to make sure everything aligns up. Now, this is one of the new sites. So I got FX Street up, and I actually go to the economic calendar. And this one actually allows me to change the time zone. So it's actually, when I go into the top, the time zone is actually changed to my current time. So this is just one of the sites. This is the one that we just pulled up. So you also want to make sure that you check more than one, because something might be on here that's not on the other one and vice versa. So you want to make sure that you stay up on the news, because as you can see, what we're looking at and what happened earlier is we definitely spiked. And I can guarantee you that the trades that we were looking at earlier, after that spike, it went in a different direction than where it was headed. So that's just something you always want to keep in mind. And so it's always about putting your proper parameters in place, your proper stop loss, your proper take profits, and understanding all of that. So let's see here. Where were we at? Euro GBP, Euro NZD. Just going. So we're looking, this is the exact same thing. So as you're looking for, we're looking at the setup. So we got some currency pairs dropped in there, but we want to make sure. So this is not ready. We do see that the red candles, are beginning to stop. Now, one thing I want to tell you is the market talks to you. The market speaks to you, right? The market speaks to you. And you have to learn to listen to what it's saying to you. So I definitely am going to point this out to you. But so when I'm looking at the stochastic, my stochastic began to curve, right? So if I was in this sale and my stochastic began to curve, it's telling me that it's shifting and it's changing, right? It's time to get out. I look at my candles. They were nice, long candles that were protruding, right? I know this momentum started way back here, but look at how these candles, spike down, how they protruded out. But now look at them, how they're starting to flatten out. It looks like they're actually getting caught on, they're beginning that curve. My PSR is coming down, and what's going to happen as it curves, the PSR is actually going to go where it actually touches the candle. And when that happens, it is going to flip. That flip, so you'll hear us often on this call talk about the PSR flip. Did it flip? Well, we're talking about these dots. You notice how the momentum shifted, it began to move upwards. Look at the dots. The dots, the PSR, touched the candles, and then it flipped. So that's what we actually would be looking for. And just so I want to make sure everybody's understanding how to trade this, what we're doing, and how we're trading it. If I got any first people, this is your first time on a call. Let me get a 111 in the chat. If it's your first time on the call, I want to definitely welcome each and every last one of you all. If this is your first time, welcome Chris, welcome Miguel. So welcome to each and every last one of you all. I want to make sure you get some value, because our goal and what we're doing is making sure that you know how to be your own bank. You know how to take the information that we're giving you and you can empower. This is about 1 million families, 1 million families being financially educated and financially impacted, financially empowered. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. That is what we're here for. So this is another currency pair that was just asked for. Now with this currency pair, I understand it flipped, but this is coming out of some serious consolidation. The market has not woke up yet on this pair. So GBP, remember, this is what we're talking about, that spike. After that spike, it kind of went to sleep. They reacted to the news and the market kind of went to sleep. And it's been sleep for hours, right? So we want the market to wake up. We don't want to trade consolidation. You're not getting your 10 pips. Like, you're not going to get 10 pips out of consolidation. It's not going to happen. So even if it did, that's still market indecision. What is the market doing? What is the market trying to do right now? You don't know, I don't know. Listen to the market. Let it talk to you. Let it speak to you. Make sure you understand and hear what it's saying. That's what you want to make sure that you do, right? So we're going to, which currency pair? On the one we were just on? Right, yes, it did. However, it's in consolidation. So the PSR did flip, right? However, this is too consolidated. So yes. This is why the human analysis and the human element is so important, because it flipped. But look at how it's been going. It's come down a little bit, go up a little bit, come down a little bit. So that's a very little bit. And we want to know what the market is doing. No, I know. I just want to make sure you pointed it out, and I greatly, you are definitely, I know you've been on the calls, and you are definitely understanding how to trade the BYOB cash out. So I just want to make sure, and I just want to make sure that everybody understands that there is a little human analysis. So we definitely have some first time people on the call. So I just want to make sure. So can I quickly go over the 3 confirmations? I definitely can. The 3 confirmations. Let me find a a better example of the 3 confirmations. We can definitely cover that. Now that one's not, let's see, what is something a web analyzer called? Hopefully the market is awake on something that they are calling. Let me see here. So USD CAD, I'm gonna click it. Let me see. Hopefully it's same thing. This one got a spike. It's just in consolidation. So we're gonna go with this one. So the 3 rules, the 3 confirmations, right? That one came out. The market did some serious consolidating earlier. But once again, this is what happens after news. This is why news, understanding what's happening, is so important. That's why it's so important. So the 3 confirmations, the 3 rules, what exactly am I looking for? What am I looking for? So first thing first, we notice we click on the web analyzer or you type in the currency pair, right? So regardless of how you understand it. So now, here is the stochastic. The first thing, it's 3 confirmations, 3 confirmations. But the first thing that I want to look at, the very, very first thing that I want to see, that I want to check, is my stochastic. Regardless of what the web analyzer calls, regardless of what you think the call might be, you want to, this is where your human analysis comes in. You want to begin with the stochastic. You want to start right here with the stochastic. No, we're not in any trades. Everything that's been so far we've been looking at has been coming out of consolidation. So now what happened is the stochastic, the blue line, is going to cross over the red around the 80. The blue line is going to cross over the red around the 20 in the upward motion. So understand, this is momentum. This is momentum. So what goes down must come up. What goes down must come up. If it's at the top, it must go back down to the bottom. This is momentum. This says I'm looking for a buy. Up here means I'm looking for a sell. That's the momentum. So that's the first thing I look at. So if you notice, I'm going to go backwards, right? I'm going to go back to here because this is live. This is live. What I'm showing you has already happened. So this is live. So if my 80, if it's around the 80, that tells me that I'm looking for a sale. At that moment, I'm looking for a sale. Understand, you want to be able to identify trades that you are going to take. So I'm looking for a sale. Now, is it ready for a sale? No, it's not. First thing I need is that stochastic to curve downwards and that blue line across over the red in a downward momentum. Then I start looking for my candles, right? So, and you are correct. Thank you for that. So, but same situation. So this is even less ready. So this is even less ready. So we go from the 5 minute starts. So understand, it happens on a 5 minute first and it moves into the 15 minute. So what I was actually thinking is, when I actually clicked it, I clicked it on the 5 minute because sometimes what I'll do, I'll activate the 5 minute chart because I will definitely click this and move into that. So no, I don't only trade what the web analyzer calls. I look at what the web analyzer calls as well as look at my own currency pairs or things like that. That's why I love it, because you can type it in. You can actually type this in. And so, and then you see you have the candle. So I would be looking, so this is like it's gearing up, but it's just not quite ready. So let me pull back to where we were at so I can finish explaining to you exactly what the rules look like. But I wanted to show you real live, real time, what it looks like. Find that spot we were in. And that's not it. Because we had a good buy and a good sell. A good buy and a good sell. And I went back too far, but okay. Let's see. We had a perfect buy and a sell, and I just wanted to be able to show you guys how you can ride the wave. We are riding the wave. We are riding the wave. We are riding the wave. So, and that probably is what it was because I clicked it and didn't realize it was on a 5-minute chart. So let's see. So I'm gonna point this cell out to you. So we just saw what it would look like on the end. So what I'm looking for is the stochastic. The stochastic needs to curve downward and point downward. So that would be my first thing. Then after I identify that where I'm at, once that stochastic is ready, that's gonna tell me that now I'm looking for red candles. I'm looking for red candles with a flat top because that is a sell. Red candles with a flat top is a sell, right? That's what I'm looking for. So now that I know I have my red candles with a flat top, see that first one has wicks pointing out of both ends. Even though my piece are flipped, I got wicks. That's not what I want. That's not what I'm looking for. So then what's going to happen is I have my red candle with a flat top. So, and my PSR is activated. My PSR has flipped. So because of that, I have 3 confirmations. I take those 3 confirmations and I go, and my goal, what I'm looking for is this is designed for you to grab 10 pips and cash out. I can grab 10 pips and cash out. So from the time it was activated, right, until where it closed out, that's 24 pips. Okay, that's 24 pips. No, I don't wait for the candle to finish because the difference is these are Hikinashi candles. So watch this. Watch this. Let me show you. I will wait on that first candle. I will wait a minute or so to make sure I don't get a wick that pops out of it. But these candles form solid, right? These candles form solid. So look at it. That's why I put the arrow there so you can see it. That's the difference of these candles. So Japanese candles, you're going to catch all the movement, right? Look, the candle is consistently moving and it's consistently forming. However, that's a Japanese candle. Hikinashi candles are an indicator. So because they're an indicator, they indicate for trend. So they use calculations of the highs and lows, past candles, so on different things. You don't have to do that. You do not have to do that. All you do is look at what it is and you see, oh, it's forming as a matter of fact, we got another one that just formed. That's a brand new candle. That's a brand new candle. See, 15-minute candles, and we are 15 seconds into that candle. So what, I mean, if this is obviously not the first candle, so I'm not looking for this to be, you know, I'm not looking for this to be that first candle. So that's what I am looking for. So yes, the red needs to cross over the blue. So like right here, no, I'm sorry, yes, it crossed. You see how it crossed over? The blue line actually crosses over the red because the red is a signal line. So that blue line crosses over the red. The blue line crosses over the red in a cell. The blue line crosses over the red in a bot, right? The blue line crosses. The red line is a signal line. That blue line, these, it's like made up of like moving averages and everything else. So would this be a good trade? Not yet. It's not ready yet, but it is gonna be a valid trade, but just not yet. Now, I also drop down to my lower time frames to see what's happening. Drop down to my lower time frames to see what's happening, right? So you definitely want to take that into consideration. So what else is happening? There is not much. The market is kind of waking back up. Looking at some other things we want to look at. Let's look at the, it's coming out. Now, it's coming out of this market dip and out of what happened earlier, and it is not close enough to the 80 for me because I know it flipped and it's got its dot, the PSR flipped, the red candle, but this is not close enough. The momentum needs to start around the 80. The momentum needs to start around the 80. As long as that momentum starts. Now, it could be close enough based on what you see. But because I know this is coming out, look at this serious consolidation and the market is still trying to figure out what it's doing. Definitely not a trade that I want to jump in. Definitely not something I want to jump in, right? Not something you want to jump in. So now, I know in the mornings we get the calls because we're asking about the US 30. You get the calls in the mornings. You now, understand that for the higher time frames, you can trade this on indices, you can trade this on anything. Higher time frames are definitely going to require your account balance, whether you're trading indices or whether you're trading Forex. So it's you want to be able to stomach the pullback. You definitely want to be able to handle that pullback. But if I take this also on the same 15-minute chart, right? If I take this on the same 15-minute chart, you look at this, I can do the exact same thing, right? Definitely can do the exact same thing. So, for example, had you caught this buy, right? Blue line crossed over the red, got my green candles. Had you caught this buy, right? Now, these are points, not pips. You know, you can call them pips, but technically they are points. So that's already, look at that. I mean, we already, if you just trying to do the 10, I mean, look at how much you can get. I'm already at 16, right? So you look at that's 30-something points, right, from when the trade activated. So that's points, not pips. So I know some people count them differently, however you want to do it, but how we count it, and we're calculating the points because these are this would have been 37 points so far, right, from where it peaked out. So you still have the opportunity to take these trades. You still have the opportunity to be on the 15-minute chart with the US 30 as well. So you can actually grab you a few at a time, and you know whether you're looking at that as 378 or you're just looking at it as 37 points. So yes, you definitely want. It's just what they're called. I mean, it's just simply what it's called. So it's definitely going points. Okay, a pip is a percentage. It's a fraction. That's why I'm so many decimals behind. I'm so many spots behind the decimal, right? I'm so many points behind the decimal. However, with points, it's a whole number. So it's going to definitely equate to more dollars for you because it's a whole. It's not a fraction of it. It's an actual whole. So that's a point movement. So it's a whole number. It's a whole movement. Whereas a pip is a fraction. Okay. And I mean, it's the same thing it's the same thing. Now understand, let's see, you're asking about gold. Gold is the same way. And once again, it's real tight. I wouldn't be trying to get in a trade right now on this either. So, and we definitely have, so Dr. Bythewood is saying he will address that on his call. So immediately following this call, we have what's called a talk with the finance doctor, which is your RX for Forex. It is about you understanding the why behind the what. You know, Dr. Craig Bythewood has his PhD in finance and economics. So once this call is over, it's definitely a call that you want to stay tuned for. It's definitely a call that you want to stay on and hear about what's happening after that. So let me see. And the market, it's got a lot of news. Understand the market is going to slow down because just like you want to know what's happening, just like you want to see what's happening, the market is going to slow down. So what you're seeing is the market slowing down. You see them in anticipation of what is going to happen. I actually dropped the training that I did on market psychology, right, in the group. And I definitely recommend that you all take a look at that training to understand this is why the market is slowing down. This is why, I mean, look at that spike. The market's trying to wake up, or they're trying to do something. So after this spike, I'm definitely not jumping in this trade. Definitely not trying to get into there. So yes, it definitely is affecting the market. So you want to make sure that you take into consideration, you want to make sure that you're paying attention and you're watching. Now, once again, let me back up. Let me scroll in on this, right? What is this coming out of? It's coming out of consolidation. So this was affected earlier, and it's coming out of that consolidation. So that's why you're seeing a spike. That's why we saw a spike right. So it spiked up about 20-something points. So points, I'm still talking about the US 30. It spiked up about 20, about 20 something pips. So you definitely want to take that into consideration and understand the picture as a whole as to what's happening. So I'm not jumping in a trade right after consolidation. I'm letting the market shift, adjust, because what you want to make sure you're doing is listening to what it's telling you. We don't force a trade. You know, we've been on here we haven't really got any calls. If I take this off, the 5-minute chart is starting to wake up some, but we really haven't gotten too many calls. So like this is one that we got, and this got called on a 15-minute chart because this currency pair, of course, is starting to wake up some. So while we have a minute, and obviously there's not a lot of trading to do right now, let me talk to you about your pip reaction time. Like that was a big topic with the news coming up. That was a big topic, understanding when you're trading in correction. So let me talk to you about your pip reaction time, right? So just want to talk to you about that. So this actually went down about 15 pips, right? That was about 15 pips. These trades, they call for 10. It calls for 10 pips, right? 10 pips and cash out. So I actually want to I'll make this a little bit bigger. So let's say we had a valid trade set up and we were in a trade, right? And so I'm gonna draw a line, and I always call it your pip reaction time. We all have a reaction time, right? From the time we see something to the time we actually pull the trigger, we have a reaction time. So that's where the trade would have activated, right? That's where it would have activated. Now, how long does it take you to get in a trade? How long does it take you to get in a trade? So you might not get in a trade to down here. And when we looked at it, we had a one currency pair that actually ended in profit, but a few people did not end in profit. So you want to look at where we are, right? You want to look at, so you definitely want to look at where we are. So if you end up here, understand if I enter the market here, I'm not getting 10 pips out of that if I enter the market way down here. So what you always want to check too, you always want to check your pip reaction time. So if this is where I entered, where I'm supposed to enter the market, where the trade activated, right? And then I turn around and you look at where we are, right? Look at where we are. Now, from there, can you get 10 pips? So yes, sometimes we go 20, sometimes we go 30, but you would have barely, look at that 9.8, right? So at 9.8, I did not get my pips. I did not get 10. So you would have got caught in that turnaround and you would have been popped out of your trade in a stop loss, right? So when you take the trade, I want to make sure that you understand that you got to look at where it's activated. And if you start seeing, like you saw these candles, right, you want to pay attention. So if I see these candles and I see those candles, then market is going to tell me when to get in, the market is going to tell me when to get out. So you want to close your trade in partial profit. So if you got 5 pips, if you got 6 pips, the point is we want to end in the blue. We want to end in the blue. You want to grow your account so you can be, again, compounding and doing other things. So do we have any questions or anything? So, because obviously right now the market is extremely slow and crawling, and we do not force a trade. So do we have any questions or anything on this right here, on your pip reaction time or anything like that? Any questions? So you want another currency pair? So you want another currency pair. Let's see. Same thing, coming out of this drop, when you come off of a drop like that, you want to let the market get back correct. So let me see, I'm gonna look at these last two and look at this, some serious consolidation, right? Serious consolidation. So yes, you can trade this on cryptocurrency. So let me just pull it up. It's when I type it in, it hadn't been. I'm gonna try it though. Oh, there it is. So when I trade cryptocurrency, understand you got to go back through the IML Academy, the cryptocurrency, and it'll tell you how to count pips, how to count them, right? How do you count them? And it's different. You know, counting pips with cryptocurrency is definitely different. So once again, we talked about it being close to the 20. I'm gonna use this as an example, but we talked about it being close to the 20, right? Close to the 20 for the momentum to go up. And we talked about it being close to the 80 for the momentum to go down. Now, no, I'm understanding that, but when you're adding your pips and when you're counting your pips, when you're doing that, you definitely want to take all that into consideration. So what I do, right? And you can grab your 10. So if I'm entering a trade and I'm seeing what I'm doing is I'm understanding the support and resistance, right? I'm understanding support and resistance and understanding this is a zone. So each crypto, understand each one is different. Each one counts different. And that's why I said go back through the IML Academy, understand how to properly count your pips, how to properly count your pips. So, right, understand that. So as I'm doing that, what I do is when I see the setup, I'm using support and resistance lines, and that's how I'm calling my take profit, because each one is different. And then as you measure it from where you could actually enter the trade, you can actually look and see how many pips you actually were able to accomplish. But as you see, the rules are exactly the same. It's exactly the same. And if you notice, where does it go? You look at these support and resistance lines. You got those touches. You have those touches. So when something lines up, momentum kicks off, momentum starts, you enter the trade, and you notice, so it's going to come down. So this one actually went back up some before it came back down. But it's still, when it activated, when had all three confirmations, what do we end up with, right? And so you want to use those support and resistance lines when you're trading cryptocurrency, or you're trading gold, or you're trading anything else, because this is important. It all counts different. So I can't just say, oh, let me grab 10 and get out. So you want to make sure that you are using your support and resistance lines. So ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Bitewood, I'm going to cue you up just a tad bit early. The market is not moving. We definitely have a lot of news going on. We definitely have a lot that's happening out there. So if you have any questions, go ahead and any questions, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Any questions, drop it in the chat. I want to check something. I know we were looking at earlier. Now, if this is your first time on, and I know this is a Catching Pips night, a live training call. I mean, I know that's what this is, but we have to understand we do not force trades. We don't force them. We don't force them. We don't force them, right? So we do not force any trades. So with that being said, understanding that we do not force any trades, I want to know, with you being the first time on, or this your second time on, do you have, give me a 555 if this call has been beneficial to you. Because we always want to make sure that you learn how to fish. This is about you learning how to fish, you learning how to do this for yourself. So we want to make sure that you can take this information from this call and you can take it and go apply it yourself. So I just want to make sure that you got some benefit, you know, from being on this call this evening. So, no, and that's just fine. I asked, did you have any questions? So yes, most definitely. We will run through the steps one more time. We will run through all the confirmations one more time. And that is just fine. That is just fine. We want to make sure that you know what you're doing. So we will run through these steps one more time for you. So as you can see, if I'm looking, you know, if I'm looking, this is real time. So understand, this is real time. This is real time. So it does not discuss, it doesn't matter what is called here. but this is real time, right? This is real time. So, but when I scroll back here, I'm showing you what has transpired and what has happened, right? I want to show you what's transpired and what's happened, so you can actually apply it. This is what real time looks like. So I'm gonna go through the steps, but for anybody that's been trading the BYOB cash out for any given time, tell me drop it in the chat what I'm looking for right now. What am I looking for from this setup? From this setup, what am I looking for? Stochastic first, correct. So, and what would I be looking for based on the stochastic? A buy or a sell? Exactly, I'm looking for a sell. So, exactly. So now this is what the activated trade would actually look like. This is what it would look like. First thing first is I'm looking for this stochastic. I'm looking for the stochastic, as everybody said. This is my first confirmation. Why is it important that this is my first confirmation? Because this is going to tell me the direction I want to move in. It's going to tell me, do I want to buy or do I want to sell? What am I looking for? Because just like the real life, the real time right here, we don't have our candles. If I look at that, am I looking for a buy? Am I looking for a sell? What am I looking for, right? Because it has not actually happened. This has already happened. But we have to use this to show you how to trade it. Now, my stochastic is the blue line crosses over the red in a downward momentum around the 80, right? Around the 80. So my momentum has to start around the 80 for a sell. Now, and what I will do even further for you is I'm going to draw a vertical line, because this is where it started, right? This is where it began. So that's actually where we got the cross on the stochastic. I can't put it a little bit in between those candles. So the next thing, correct, I need a candle with a flat top. And I need a red candle with a flat top, because red means sell. So I definitely need a red candle with a sell. So now what happened is I got a wick on the top and the bottom. That's not a flat candle. So if I move this, I'm gonna move this over just so you can see, this is not a flat candle. It's not. So that means it's not a valid trade yet, right? That's step 2. It's not a valid trade. So now what happens, my next step, right? My number 2, I'm gonna put the number 2 right here. The next thing that I'm looking for, I finally got my red candle. I got my red candle with a flat top. So I got it. It's right here. But I need my third confirmation. And that third confirmation is when that PSR flips. So notice that by the time that PSR flips, I'm no longer at the 80. My momentum had to start around the 80. I don't want it to stay at the 80, because then I'm in consolidation, or then I'm going sideways, or, you know, it had to start at the 80. And when it starts, now I can jump in a trade and I can ride it out for 10 pips. So that's what happens. Will we also, now, right now we do not have it, but somebody drop the chat, drop it in the chat, because I know there are some things that has been discussed in there. So if you could drop the Telegram in there. But no, you have to put your currency pairs in, or you have to use the web analyzer calls. So you have to use the setups from there. But understand that those setups from the web analyzer, like we click this, it's not the gospel as far as, oh, I'm ready for a trade, or oh, this. So, oh, sorry about that. So yes, most definitely practicing your demo. So, and I know I had another question up in here. No, we're not trading in the morning, just Monday through Thursday at 5 a.m. And I think that the only video that's in there is what the web analyzer has. I'm sorry, not the web analyzer, but counting pips. But if the pips is always just that 4th digit behind a decimal point in JPY pairs, or the second. And really, if it's a buy, you want to add 10. If it's a sell, you want to subtract 10 to get your take profit. Understand, oh, your stop loss is always stop loss, stop loss, stop loss. My stop loss is outside of the PSARs. Why is that? Now understand this, you gotta also take into consideration your risk management. Recommended stop loss is outside of the PSAR. Is for a buy is below the PSAR, for a sell is above the PSAR. If you notice, scroll through some currency pairs, that PSAR, those candles, even when I get a wick, until the market turns around, until it actually reverses, there is not, you got room for that correction. Nothing happens in here that you don't want to be in here. This is your market correction and all that stuff happening. Remember, you're not looking at Japanese candles, we're looking at Hikikanashi candles. So your correction, even if I get a wick that pops out, that wick will pop out, but that wick is not going to touch on the outside of those PSARs. It might touch a PSAR, but it won't touch on the outside of those PSARs until the market reverses, until it flips. So that's definitely something you definitely want to take and keep into consideration. Definitely, definitely, definitely. So make sure, though, you understand your risk management. If you follow the rules, I cannot guarantee where you're going to be, but I will guarantee you'll be in a high 90 percentile on the accuracy of your trades if you follow those confirmations. So, and that stop loss, right? Yes, stop loss. That stop loss. It's that stop loss that definitely this is where you want your stop loss. So ladies and gentlemen, we understand what's happening in the market right now. Make sure you follow the news. Please follow the news and do not force any trades. Do not force a trade. So, and oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to do right now is I want to turn this call over to Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Dyer, the trade whisperer. Folks, that question that we have as far as resistance, you can think about if it's on a sell, that top PSAR, that's going to act as your resistance, and on a buy, the PSAR on the bottom is going to act as your support. So, you know, this strategy kind of gives you a clear visual so that you can be confident in knowing if you follow the confirmation, you will be able to execute. As a matter of fact, for those of you who have been with us at the beginning of this week, we were able to, the calls that we made, we're right around 1,300 pips for this week. And if those of you who have been with us, if you had been able to take advantage of some of the calls that we've made, particularly today on the US 30 and those calls, if you were able to be in profit on the majority of the calls that we have made, the time that you've experienced, if you could put a 777 in the chat, if you were profitable with us. Yes, I like to see that. Yes, you've been profitable with us this week. It's been absolutely amazing. We're right close to 1,300 pips. And this was a week that had a lot of volatility in it with a lot of news and things of that nature. But folks, I'm excited to know that we've been able to, on behalf of Ms. Dyer, who created this strategy, made something so simple that everyone can win. Wow, 50% says, wow, that's exciting. That's exciting. So here's what I need you to do. If this call has been beneficial to you at all, please do us a favor of dropping in the IML Web Analyzer chat Facebook group, hashtag BYOB Cash Out. And I can show you upcoming weeks, review the videos, and we're going to continually make sure that we provide this quality of information and having the benefit of the trade whisperer, create this strategy that everyone can win. And this strategy is designed to go across all the markets. It is designed for you to utilize it as a scalp if that's your repertoire, or if you want to stretch it out to the higher time frames. It is going to suit whatever your fancy is, as long as you simply apply the 3 confirmations. And then the benefit of this is, as this, we're utilizing the Hikanashi candles, you can ride the wave up as well as down. So you can literally focus in on one currency pair and understand the strategy, and knowing if you're in a buy position, we know that the market is going to reverse. Then you could take that same currency pair and take a sell position, because now you can identify and know what the road signs are telling you because you're reading the charts. It's crystal clear, it's simple, and now you have the benefit to be able to maximize your profit potential as long as you use proper risk mitigation and things of that nature. So we're excited to have you with us. For those of you who are first-time guests, once again, make sure you drop that in the chat, BYOB Cash Out, in the IML Web Analyzer Facebook group. So with that being said, folks, we are going to transition this call. We're going to transition this call. And our whole responsibility is simply to ensure that you understand the why behind the what. And with that being said, we have the opportunity to introduce to you a